Hi, I'm Glenn Whipp with the Los Angeles Times. So You Think You Can Dance received 7 Emmy nominations recently, including one, the 4th consecutive Emmy nomination for host Kat Deeley.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah. So 4 consecutive nominations. Even Tom Bergeron is saying, he's tweeting now, you know, it's about time. Go out and win this thing.
I know, he's been a
Like
real cutie.
you can somehow
manipulate it myself.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when Jeff Probst used to win it every single time. Do you remember? He did. I think he won it about 5 times in a row.
Yeah, a bunch.
And I'd said to Bergeron, look, you and me can take this big time. When they announce Prost's name, I'll kick him in the shins. You create a disturbance. I said, and then it's every man for himself. I'll tuck my ball dress into my knickers and we'll just run up for the podium.
Yeah.
And then since then he's won, and he's just always so lovely. I went into my room last week, my dressing room at CBS, and he'd left me a note saying, right, come on, off you go get it, do the thing. And then during the show last week, he was actually tweeting me at the same time going, I've got to come and see this show. I'm going to bring my wife. I'm going to come. So there's a real lovely sense of camaraderie. I mean, for me, it's a thing of never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would even be going to the Emmys, let alone nominate. Like none of those things even entered my imagination. You know, I'm a little kid from a very not pretty industrial town. My mom and dad aren't anybody famous, and I never went to stage school. And I started off doing MTV, and then I moved on to other jobs back in the UK, and then this job came along, and you kind of go, you try and balance it out. So you go with your gut, and you also go with your brain too, and you go, okay, what do I think? Is this going to be a success? Will this show work for me? Will I enjoy doing it? And will I actually work for the show too? That's there's lots of consideration.
Are you a good fit? Sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I saw the show and I loved it. I instantaneously loved it. I loved the fact it was an entertainment show. I loved the fact it was unashamedly a reality show, but you were about celebrating people's talents. It was about the American dream being alive and kicking. All of that, and the fact I can wear really silly high heels and really push the boundaries in terms of just everything I loved about it. So for it to be going on 11 seasons later, that's actually the most exciting thing. You know, when you say I'm thrilled to be nominated for an Emmy, but actually the show being on for 11 seasons has changed my life. An Emmy won't change my life, but the show has changed my life. And, you know, I've gone on this massive adventure. I left my home and I came here and I love it. I love the lifestyle. I love being able to share it with friends and family. So that for me is a bigger thing than the Emmy, although the Emmy is lovely.
You say that now, but yeah, I mean, and you mentioned Probst winning 4 years. I think it was 4 years.
Is it 4 or 5?
I don't know. A bunch. He never could lose.
Exaggerated it.
It was a bunch, and he's never been nominated since.
It's really strange.
I don't know how. I mean, I can see. I mean, you guys all bring a real unique skill set. I mean, we talked about fit for the job. I mean, for you, like enthusiasm.
Yep.
And you seem to be really invested in these contestants' journey, starting from the auditions, moving all through the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you would be a very strange human being to not become slightly invested. You know, I think that I think there's several different aspects to it. I think the first is I like dancers as a breed of person, and this is a sweeping generalization, but as a breed, they're like cool people. They're good people. You know, there's a thing where nobody becomes a dancer because they want to become rich and famous. You know, they're normally the team player. They're normally not the person in the spotlight. They normally get paid, you know, cents rather than dollars. And normally their careers are very short. They're constantly injured. So there is no other reason for somebody to be a dancer other than they can't imagine their life not.
It's that passion. Yeah.
when in this day and age do we still have that anymore? People want to be famous for doing nothing, let alone for having these amazing talents that you and I could only dream of being able to do, you know. And with every season that's gone on in the show, that they've raised, the dancers have raised the bar every time. They're becoming more athletic. They're becoming like these demigods that can pretty much do anything now, from gymnastics to tricks to it's insane what they can do.
And yet then you see them in sort of the unguarded clips just talking about themselves, and they're just kind of normal, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen kids dance on, you know, split feet and broken ankles, and they work really hard. So I like them as people. There's something very nice about dancers in general. And I think the other thing I really enjoy about it, and definitely get invested in, is you take, essentially you take the diamonds in the rough that have this passion and this talent, and then you elevate them and you give them a platform, and then it's up to them what they want to do next. And for some people that is going back home and opening a dance studio because that's how they feel and that's what they want to do. For some people it's going on tour with Lady Gaga, or going on Broadway, or being in movies, or whatever it is, but then it's up to you. And I think the person that illustrates that probably the best is someone like Travis Wall, where he was season 2, so he was on my first season. And Benji Schwimmer won that season. He was a great winner. But I think if you had to look at it, Benji wasn't necessarily technically the best. He was the most popular. I think Travis was probably technically the best, and I think most people would agree with me. But then Travis reached a point where he then started choreographing, started doing that, and now he himself is being nominated for an Emmy, and it's lovely to be a part of somebody's journey like that. So you can't help but getting, that was a massive answer to coming right round and being invested.
Sure. I mean, now you get down, like, I think you're down to 16 on the show. I mean, so does it get hard when the judges, you know, put somebody off? And are you up there on stage thinking, no, you've made a bad decision here.
Sometimes.
You're stabbing me in the heart.
Sometimes, but there is also the other side of that as well, the other side of the coin, which is if a specific dancer has been in the bottom for a couple of weeks in a row, it's actually better for them to go than to feel, oh, I'm really not good. Why don't they like me? Why isn't it? And sometimes it's just because they haven't picked the right routines to make the right things work, or maybe the partnership's not great. It can be a million other reasons other than the actual person, or, you know, how talented they are at dancing. But I think there's only so many times that that you can get up there and still retain that sense of confidence if you've been stood up there week after week after week that you're in the bottom. So sometimes it can be a bit of a dichotomy, because sometimes it's better for them to go.
Yeah. So I think I read an interview with you where you were saying that just being host on this show for this many years hasn't necessarily improved your own dancing skills.
No, it's no, it hasn't. It's no, definitely not.
But your enthusiasm is there.
I love going out for a good dance. It's one of my favorite things to do. With friends, or even at weddings. I really enjoy a good wedding where you kind of go and have a proper good old dance. And my husband's very good at throwing me around the dance floor and spinning me around and dipping me down, and so I don't really have to do very much. It's all kind of hair and just the right kind of feel to something. I really enjoy it, but no, if I actually danced for real, I think America would bleed from their eyes. I'm blind, taking the horror off the screen.
But maybe that helps you in those early, I mean, because there are people who seem to go audition for the show just for the fun of it. You can relate to those people, right?
And there are, definitely. I don't think I would ever stand up there and audition, though. I'm very aware of my own limitations. I know very much that I do not need to get up on stage and be critiqued and do any of that. I'm more than happy to have a good old knees up after a glass of champagne at a wedding and thoroughly enjoy myself. But I won't be auditioning anytime soon.
We have a lot of questions from Team
My
cat.
mom.
Yeah, we've identified now as your mom. I mean, there was one, but okay, well, there's one that's Melanie Cogdill saying that she loves all your shoes. And is there any thought to posting somewhere what you're wearing every week? Now, you, I believe, do your own wardrobe.
I do.
And styling, right?
I do.
So all these choices are yours.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, only because
you're looking at me like, yeah,
I know. I'm waiting for something else. I'm like,
no.
So now we're going to slime you. What were you thinking? No. What it is I think that no one knows how you wake up in the morning better than you do yourself. And some days I can rock a black leather mini dress and feel a bit like Debbie Harry. And some days I want something that's feminine or floaty, or some days I want something that's easy. And it won't change my performance, but it definitely helps it. It's like anybody. If you go to work, or you go if you're going into a business meeting, or if you're going to meet your lawyer, or if you're meeting your boyfriend's mom for the first time, or you're going out on a night with your girlfriends, you wear something different depending on what you're doing, and it's kind of like the suit of armor that you wear going into battle, and it just helps. It just helps in your demeanor. It doesn't make a good performance a great one, and it doesn't make a great performance a bad one, but there's something about it where it just helps. And so I pick out what I wake up that day and go, right, how am I feeling? Am I feeling, can I squeeze into my skinny jeans, or am I feeling rock princess, or am I feeling what? And it just, Talitha Getty on top of a riad in Morocco. I have all these crazy images in my head, and I just go, right, okay, how do I feel today? And I'm
trying to see how you felt today. You're looking very summery.
I felt comfy, but I do wear flat shoes. People always say to me, do I always wear high? But I wear flat for data, because I'm 5'9". Everybody always says, oh my God, she's a giant.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do look a bit gianty over the top of those dancers, but that's because they've not got any shoes on. And normally what happens is, after they finish dancing, they dance and they have the most beautiful kind of lines, and they hold themselves so beautifully. And then the minute they stop, they go like that. So they instantly drop to like 5'2",
yeah.
and I've suddenly got
they're flated.
Yeah. So I'm not really giant lady.
Well, that explains a lot here.
There you go.
We've cleared that up. Now, you mentioned that these questions, some of them were probably from your mom.
I'd say all of them were.
I know one that probably is.
There's no way Melanie was Melanie. That's Jan.
Well, here's one that's definitely from your mom. It says, you were friends with your husband.
Yes.
For 10 years before you got together.
Yes.
What took you so long? That one's from your mom.
Good things come to those who wait, Jan. That's what I'd say. You know what? It's one of those things where we've been friends for ages, and then he did this really romantic thing where it was my birthday. We'd stayed in touch for the whole time, and there'd always been a bit of a thing between us. There was always something.
Yeah.
A flirtation, shall we say?
Shall we say
that? But either I was with somebody or he was. It was just timing was never right. And then it was my birthday. I think probably about 4 years ago maybe. And he said to me, he called me the day before my birthday, and he said, "What are you doing for your birthday?" And I said, actually not very much, because the night before we were going round to Seth MacFarlane's house. He lives on the corner of my street, and he has this big party every year, which I think is his birthday, but he just treats it as a thing to sing at everybody. So we were going to that, and so I said, look, I'm just going to do something really casual, 12 people, Beverly Hills Hotel, brunch Sunday. And he says, right, what time are you going to be there? And I said, about 2, we're going to do a late one. He said, right, I'll meet you there. And he was in Ireland at the time, so he got on a plane from Ireland to London, and then from London to LA, and then dropped his bag at the concierge and walked into the Beverly Hills Hotel.
So he was making a statement there. Yeah. So he showed up, and
then that was it.
That was it. Huh?
That was it.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what? It's a thing that I think that so few so few people do big gestures like that anymore, and I understand why, because it's very terrifying, and it's slightly.
It's putting himself out there.
If you put yourself on the line like that, you know, you're opening yourself up to who knows what. You know, it could just all explode in your face. But I think it's, even if it. I said that to him actually. I said, "Were you not terrified?" And he's like, "No, not really, because we'd always have like a nice time anyway, so it wouldn't really matter." And I think the big thing is even if it hadn't have worked out, it would have been such a noble failure that I think it's kind of amazing, and I think maybe more people should do. I don't know. It's the type of thing that knocks your socks off a little bit as a girl. You know? And
you mentioned he's not shy about being the first on the dance floor with you at the wedding, so it's perfect.
Well, he's a stand-up comedian as well, so he has a good sense of humour. So that's probably why he's first on the dance floor with my dancing. He's like, I've never seen anything so funny in my life.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else your
Jan's
mom
been writing,
You've been hosting for quite a few seasons.
Yes.
Do you still get surprised by contestants' dance routines, or have you seen it all? You've not seen it all.
No. There are certain times when people are so creative, it blows your mind a little bit. It's you know, when they'll do something that's hip hop, but they'll put it to a classical piece of music, or you know, that would be like saying anybody who sits down at the piano, are you ever bored of what they play? You know.
There's endless variations.
You know, and I think that it just takes someone to be imaginative and do something a little bit kind of off the wall, and instantaneously the hairs on my arms stand on end.
This is another one that's definitely from your mom.
Jan.
It's clear that you absolutely love your job.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's from your agent. I don't know. Does it make contract negotiations a nightmare for your agent?
I'm sure it doesn't make it easier.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't make it easier. Definitely not. What, she dresses herself and she loves this show? And she turn up for nothing? Oh, right, yeah. You know what I mean?
They should bump your salary up, though, because you don't require a lot of handling.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. No, yeah, it's, you know what? It is one of those things. I consider myself so lucky. When I go to work, it doesn't feel like work. Even doing live, I love it. I really enjoy it, because the idea is that you prep everything, and then once it gets to the moment, you let it go. So you're just in the moment with the person and you're listening. And I've done so much live now that everything has happened to me at some stage. I have fallen over. I have dropped the mic. I have had a migraine. You know, all those things have happened. And I think as long as you handle them with a little bit of grace and a sense of humour and some self-deprecation, I think the audience actually loves it. They love it when things go wrong.
Yeah, it's fun. You're up there on stage. It's like
it endears
on
you.
Saturday Night Live when somebody breaks and starts to laugh during a sketch.
Yeah. The bit that they don't like is if something goes wrong and you're like that.
Yeah, deer in headlights.
And then they feel uncomfortable too. It translates to the audience. They feel uncomfortable as well. But if you handle it, they love it.
Yeah.
So there's nothing actually to be frightened of.
Well, Nigel Lithgow. Yes, you know him.
Yes, I do.
It's the show's producer,
Judge.
Overlord.
Yes. Dark Lord.
Yes. He tweeted out, at the beginning of the season, right, that this could be the final season of So You Think You Can Dance. Yeah,
I mean, everything runs its course, you know, everything's cyclical. You never know what's going to happen. The great thing is though that we seem to have more people turn out to audition, and our audience viewing figures have been good, you know. I mean, it's never going to be the monster that American Idol was, but at the same time we have this core audience that are super passionate about the show and watch it religiously, know all the kids' names, they know everything. And it's a core demographic that advertisers really like too. So whilst they keep watching the show, they would have to find something else to replace it with that delivers
Sure.
the same number, and is made for the same price or less. So
Good luck with that, right?
like if I told you I bring my own clothes, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So
sure,
it's like
sure.
if you'd have asked me when we were doing the auditions, is this going to be the last one? I'd say yes. Seeing how everything's going, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know now. Will I be sad if it is? Absolutely. But we've had the greatest run ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it means I can do other things too. You know, like at the moment I'm exclusive and I can't. So it's good for me to. It would be good for new challenges.
Yeah. There's another question. If you were a contestant
Yeah.
on Dancing with, so you think you can dance? This says Dancing with the Stars, but that other show that we shall not name.
No, I love the fact that that show's on, because while that show's on as well, it means that the audience still wants to see dancing. And actually, so many people come up to me and go, "You're the girl from Dancing with the Stars," and I'm like, and I think to myself, "Oh, I don't want it." They know what they mean.
Right.
Like, you know that
Actually,
they know what
I know
they
what
mean.
this question means now.
And I always just, and I always just let them go.
If you were on Dancing with the Stars, which So You Think You Can Dance partner would you want with you? So you're going on the celebrity show.
Yes.
But you can, now you're bringing. Tough one.
That is a tough one. I think if it was going to be anybody, though, I think it would probably be Dimitri. One, because I would really like to know how to ballroom properly. So when my husband twirls me around a dance floor, I look half decent. Two, because Dimitri is taller than me, so I wouldn't look like, "You're a lady." And three, he very rarely buttons his shirt.
That's the most important thing, yes.
I didn't like to say it, but, I think you're just much more aerodynamic if you just...
Right. You don't have those clothes holding you back.
You don't need that, do you?
Yeah.
No.
You threw out first pitch at a Dodgers game, so talking about, like, putting yourself out there.
I was so scared.
Yeah.
I walked onto the pitch and I didn't realize it was as far as it was for a
60
start.
feet.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that far. And then and I walked on to the pitch and my little leg started going, when you have that little nervous leg thing that twitchy. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, whatever. And they said to me, look, you don't have to go on the mound. It's fine. You can stand in front of it. It's absolutely fine. I thought, well, I'd seen 50 Cent throw his. Have you seen that?
No.
I'd seen Mark Wahlberg throw as well. Carly Rae Jepsen was... And I thought, okay, I can't be any worse than 50. And if I can't be any worse than 50, I'm going to bloody stand on the mound. I'm not going to stand in front of it like a girl. I'm going to go on there and I'm going to do it. And so I did. But I was terrified. I think I ate 3 Dodgers dogs afterwards because I didn't have a chance for breakfast. I celebrated with 3 Dodgers dogs.
You're never going to forget that moment. You're telling me you didn't practice beforehand?
No.
You weren't out in the backyard?
The one practice I did was with my hair and makeup, which goes to show how ridiculous that was. I was in my dressing gown, about to go in with my hair and makeup team, and I'd hiked with my dog that morning and found a tennis ball because we don't have a ball in the house. So I found a tennis ball, and then my hairstylist told me that it was 16 feet. So we practiced we threw it once.
It said 16, so yeah, it's just the 60-16 thing got a little bit lost there. So that was easy. That was an easy
in a dressing gown, I was like, yay, I got this. I'm all over this. Cut to, Star Spangled Banner, huge screens.
And you're out there on the
gloves,
mountain, and it's like
wobbly leg, Dodgers dogs.
But it turned out okay. Once again, you're putting yourself.
I actually stayed for the whole match and really, really enjoyed it. We had such a great time.
First baseball game? That's what you're saying?
It was so much fun, and
they call them games, not matches.
Sorry.
Yes.
I won't get asked
runs,
that now.
not points, but yeah.
Sorry,
I'm being the know-it-all American.
Annoying.
You can school me on cricket.
Did you see the World Cup?
Not too much, no. I go for the football with the pigskin and the yeah.
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 The padding.
Right. The tackling, all that.
Yeah.
But, are you a soccer fan too?
Soccer. I watch. Yeah. I would watch the World Cup.
Football. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Football. Yeah. But no, I actually really enjoyed it. It was so much fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now you have, if it's not renewed,
yes,
you have a little sidelight there. You can go out to Dodger Stadium and school other people on how to throw out the first pitch, right?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Right.
I mean, if I'm here, no, if 50 Cent's here, I'm probably there.
Right. Yeah.
That's like, I'm definitely on that end of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
It was great talking to you.
Yes, it was lovely that my mum shared all those
Many
questions with us. Yes.
We didn't get to
Jan.
them all, but you guys can talk after.
I'll call her.
Yeah.
That's probably an easier way of doing it. Then we don't have to worry about the time differences, and she can just put down those T-shirts and baseball caps she's making. Call you in a minute, Jan.
For more interviews and Emmy conversations, please go to latimes.com. Thank you.
They'll be much more sensible.